Hi friends, welcome to a great day of learning. We are your teachers today. I'm Miss Sherry.
And I'm Miss Mandy. We are so glad to be with you today for tons of fun, reading, and knowledge.
Now, I want to share our learning goals with you for today's lesson. We will make connections between parts of the body associated with the digestive system and also describe illustrations as food moves along the digestive system. Our focus standards today are RI.1.3 and RI.1.7.
That sounds like a packed episode. Friends, think back on what we've already learned about the systems in the human body. Can you remember?
Great thinking. We've learned a lot about the skeletal and muscular systems.
That's right. The systems are all tied together in a network to keep the human body alive and healthy.
The skeletal system is so special to us because it protects some of our important organs and it helps with movement. Do you remember what you learned about the muscular system?
You guys are so smart. We learned that the heart is a muscle that works by itself. It's involuntary, meaning it works automatically.
That is so cool.
In the last lesson, Dr. Wellbody gave us a clue about the next system you'll be learning about. She said, we'll have a lot to chew on. Can you guess what she's talking about?
That's right. We are going to talk about food and how it travels through the body. Today, we will learn about the digestive system.
I can't wait to hear what Dr. Wellbody is going to tell us about digestion.
Me too, Miss Mandy. In a moment, we'll preview some of the vocabulary you will need to know for our lesson. First, let's complete what we know and what we wonder about on this KWL chart. The K stands for what we already know. Let's think a minute about what we might already know about digestion.
In an earlier unit, we learned that taste is one of our 5 senses. Taste is really important to digestion.
That's right. Taste is really important when we are eating food. Is there anything else?
We also read that the mouth is where we chew our food, and that makes it easier to swallow.
Exactly. I bet we learn about a few other organs too.
Now let's complete the W section of the anchor chart. What do you wonder about digestion?
There is so much to learn about digestion. I want to know, where does food go after we swallow?
Great question. We'll add it to the KWL chart under the W. What else do you wonder about?
I'm also wondering what food is used for in our bodies.
That's another good question. Let's add that to the chart.
Great. Thanks everyone for helping with the KWL chart. We will add what we learned under the L section of the chart at the end of the lesson today.
Who's ready to learn some important vocabulary? Great! Let's take a look at some words we will need to know for our read aloud.
It looks like our first word is digestion. Boys and girls, when we say what word, that means it's your turn to say the word back to us. Let's try it. The word is digestion. What word? Yes, digestion. Digestion is the bodily process of breaking food into a usable form.
The digestion of food takes the body several days to complete.
Let's add a motion to help us remember the meaning of digestion. We can act like we are using a hammer to break things apart. So make a fist like this and pretend you're holding a hammer and you're going to break things apart.
Our next word card says digestive system. What words? Yes, digestive system. The digestive system is the system that processes energy-giving food in the body.
The digestive system uses special juices to turn solid foods into liquids.
We can add a motion for digestive system too. Let's lace our fingers together and move them in a circle over our stomachs. That will help us to remember that a system works together and the stomach is an important part of the digestive system. Practice that motion now. Good job.
Our next vocabulary word is esophagus. What word? Yes, esophagus. The esophagus is a muscular tube that connects the mouth to the stomach.
He could feel the warm milk move down his esophagus.
Let's think of a motion for esophagus. Did you think of one? Yes, I think that's a good one. We can move our hand over our throat. Let's practice that one.
Great job, everyone. The next word is intestine. What word? Yes, intestine. It is an organ connected to the stomach that continues the digestive process.
Food passes from your stomach into your small intestine.
Our motion for intestine will be moving your finger in a squiggly line. You will see later in the lesson that the intestines look like squiggly lines. Let's do the motion for intestine now.
It looks like our last word is stomach. What word? Yes, stomach. The stomach is the organ where food goes to be partially digested.
An interesting fact I know is that humans have one stomach, but cows have 4.
Oh, wow, that is interesting. I think a good motion for stomach is just pointing to it. Use your finger and point to your belly or stomach.
Amazing job, friends. Let's review all the new vocabulary words before we learn about the digestive system. Digestion is the bodily process by which food is broken down into a usable form.
Digestive system is the system that processes energy-giving food in the body.
The esophagus is a muscular tube that connects the mouth to the stomach. The intestine is an organ connected to the stomach that continues the digestive process.
The stomach is the organ where the food goes to be partially digested.
Amazing words for amazing scholars. You did such a good job with your motions. You can do motions when you hear a vocabulary word while we read. During the read aloud, I want you to predict how long it takes our bodies to process or digest food. Listen carefully to see if your predictions are correct.
Yum! A chicken burrito. I, Dr. Wellbody, the rhyming pediatrician, am feeling hungry. I think a chicken burrito would taste mighty good right about now. Healthy foods like chicken burritos, homemade pizza, apples, and carrots are extremely important to our bodies. We cannot live without food. Food is the fuel that gives us the energy we need to stay alive, to walk, talk, think, and breathe. The energy from food helps us stay warm. We use its energy even when we are sleeping. Food helps children grow. It helps us heal when we are hurt or sick. So, how do our bodies process or digest the food we eat? Your digestive system makes all this happen. Let's find out how it works.
Pretend that you just took a bite out of a cracker. What are you going to do now? That's right, chew. And while your teeth are crushing and chomping on the cracker, a liquid called saliva is helping to soften the food in your mouth and make it even mushier. Does anyone know another name for saliva? It's spit.
Once your food is good and mushy, it is time to swallow. When you do, the chewed up food goes into a tube that connects your mouth to your stomach. This tube is called your esophagus. It is about half as long as your arm and about twice or about as wide as your thumb. The food doesn't just slide down it. There are muscles in your esophagus that squeeze the food along the way you squeeze toothpaste from a tube. From there, the food goes into your stomach.
Do you know where your stomach is? If you point to a spot a little above your belly button and then move your hand a little more to the left, you can feel your rib bones. Your stomach is there, partly behind your ribs. Your stomach is like a big bag or balloon. It expands or gets bigger as it fills with food. Powerful muscles in your stomach squeeze the food and churn it around like clothes in a washing machine. At the same time, stomach juices, a watery mixture made by your body, help turn the mushy food into liquid. Food stays in your stomach for about 3 or 4 hours. Digestion is happening while you work, play, and sleep. Every time you eat a meal, you swallow a little air. As your stomach churns the food, the air makes noises, sometimes called tummy rumblings. When the air passes back out through your mouth, sometimes with a loud noise, it is called belching or burping.
The liquid moves from your stomach a little bit at a time into a tube called the small intestine. Your small intestine is narrow, but it is very long, around 15 feet in all. Since you are probably only about 4 feet tall, how does your intestine, more than 3 times longer than you are tall, fit inside you? The answer is that your intestine is all coiled or folded up inside you underneath your stomach. Food stays in the small intestine about 6 hours. In the small intestine, all the good things from the liquid food gets absorbed by or taken into your blood. The blood carries these nutrients and vitamins from the liquid food that's been digested around your body so they can give you energy, help you grow, and keep you healthy.
But there are still some bits of food that aren't used up and are left behind in the small intestine. These leftover bits are called waste. The waste gets pushed into your large intestine. This is a tube like your small intestine, only shorter and wider. It is curled like an upside-down U around your small intestine. From there, the waste gets pushed out of your bottom when you go to the bathroom. It may take 2 days for food to travel through your whole digestive system.
And that is how digestion works. Here's my little rhyme about the digestive system. A healthy body needs good food. There really is no question. Your body gets the things it needs. Just leave it to digestion. Then next time we get together, I'll help you find out all about the most important muscle in your body. One that works all the time but never gets tired.
Oh, wow. I wonder what the most important muscle is that Dr. Wellbody is talking about.
I guess we'll have to wait until the next lesson to find out. We sure had some super cool pictures and information to share today about digestion. Thanks for listening to our Read Aloud.
That's important information as we continue to discover more about the human body. Friends, let's discuss what you heard. We will ask you some questions. Remember when you answer to answer in complete sentences by restating the question. Now, think about this. How long does it take the body to process or digest food? Of course, we heard that it takes about 2 days for food to be digested in our bodies. Were your predictions correct that you made at the beginning of the Read Aloud? Wonderful.
Here's another question to think about. Why do we need food? That's great thinking. We need food to stay alive and to grow.
Once you swallow your food, it is squeezed along a tube called the esophagus. What organs have you learned about that help to squeeze the food on its way down? Exactly right. Muscles help food move along the digestive system.
Here's your next question. Muscles also help to turn food from solids into liquids. In what part of your body does this happen? Right, the stomach helps turn food into a liquid. Do you know if the stomach is a voluntary or involuntary muscle? Of course, the stomach is involuntary. We don't have to think about it. It works automatically.
You're doing so great. Here is your next question. How does food get carried to other parts of your body to provide the energy you need? Fantastic job. Food gets carried through our body's blood.
Oh, wow. We learned a lot in today's lesson. Let's use some of the image cards to sequence how digestion works. Where does digestion start? That's right, in the mouth, where we start chewing up our food. Which image card do you think should go next? Of course, food leaves the mouth and travels down the esophagus.
After the esophagus, where does the food go? Good job. The esophagus connects the mouth to the stomach.
So far, we have the mouth, the esophagus, and the stomach. Does anybody know what should go next? Yes, food travels to the small intestine where it will be sent out as energy.
What should be the last image in our digestion sequence? Correct. Food that is not being used as energy goes to the large intestine.
Great job, everyone. Food moves down from the mouth, down the esophagus, to the stomach, then to the small and large intestines as part of the digestive system.
Asking questions after a read aloud is one way to see how much everyone has learned. First, you will need to find a partner. You will ask your partner a question about the read aloud that starts with the word what. For example, what is it that makes you burp? Then you'll listen to your partner's response. After that, your partner will ask a new what question and you will get a chance to respond. Are you ready? You can start with your question. Great job! Now it's your partner's turn to ask a what question. That was great. You came up with some good what questions.
You did such a good job answering those questions. You're a great listener during the read aloud. Let's take a look back at the KWL chart. At the beginning of the lesson, we completed the first two sections. The L stands for what we learned. What are some important facts we learned today?
I remember that it said it takes 2 days for our bodies to digest food.
That's right. We can add that under the L section of our chart. What else did we learn today?
We also read that digestion is how energy-giving food gets delivered to the rest of our bodies.
Great listening. Let's add that to the chart too.
Great job, everyone. Our KWL chart is all done.
All right, now let's do an antonym activity. Sometimes the process of digestion gets interrupted. When this happens, we sometimes burp and belch. These are signs of indigestion, and it can feel very unpleasant to our bodies. Indigestion would be the opposite or antonym of digestion. I will read the sentences to you. If the sentence tells about a normal part of digestion, say, that's digestion. If it's not a normal part of digestion, say, that's indigestion. I'll hold up one of these responses so you can check your answer. Ready? Here we go. I chewed my apple into tiny bits before swallowing. Is that sentence an example of digestion or indigestion? That's right. That's digestion.
One more sentence. I had stomach pains after lunch yesterday. Would that be digestion or indigestion? Good job. That's indigestion. Friends, what an amazing time we've had today. We are all becoming experts at the human body and how it works to keep us alive and healthy.
That is so true, Miss Mandy. We now know how food moves through our bodies to give us energy.
Digestion is a lot more important to our bodies than just eating food.
Exactly right. Our organs are all connected to keep our bodies working the way they should. I wonder what we'll learn next.
Dr. Wellbody gave us a hint. Do you remember what it was? She said it's the most important muscle in our body. Do you have any ideas? I guess we'll have to wait till next time.
I've had a fantastic time today, boys and girls. We hope you've enjoyed learning more about our bodies and the digestive system. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
I've had a great time too, Miss Sherry. Friends, please join us again soon as we continue to explore more about the human body. Thanks for doing your best today, scholars. Be sure to share something you learned today with someone in your home.
All rights and credits for today's lesson belong to Core Knowledge Language Arts. We would like to thank them for publicly sharing these valuable resources. The views and opinions expressed in this lesson are those of the Core Knowledge authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Mississippi Department of Education. Thank you for joining us today, boys and girls. We will see you next time.